Yo, Breezy.
Yes, sir.
The San Francisco 49ers have been questioned multiple times at the podium about whether or not last week was a get-right game and if they felt like they were getting back to their identity. On today's episode of No Harm, No Foul, we're going to discuss what the identity of the 49ers looks like versus what it could be. You ready to do it?
Let's do it.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody out there? It's your boys Mike and Wayne. We are here. Get the horns one more time. We are here to have a fun-filled episode of the No Harm, No Foul, man. Identity crisis, man. Wayne, you know, Kyle Shanahan went through the injury report yesterday, and a name slipped past me, man. We talked about it on yesterday's show, but I feel like we got to bring it up here a little bit. Debo got a wrist injury. And I remember during the game where he kind of got into it with somebody afterwards, right? Like right after the play, he like jumped up in somebody's face like it was about to go down. And then immediately after, he was on the sideline holding his wrist and he was like wincing in agony. He missed the next play. Is that what happened? Like, is that what the injury is from? Like, what's going on with our man? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't think it's anything. I'm surprised you missed the Juwan Jennings injury. That's even more crazy. He he got injured with the hip injury in that game, and none of us knew that. And Kyle didn't know it until now.
The reason the Jennings injury didn't catch me off guard is because he's been on the injury report for the last 3 weeks straight. So while it's been different things, he's been on the report.
I guess but it's an injury. That's something that we didn't know about happened in the game. So even though he's been on the injury report, it's a different injury. So I don't know.
Shout out to the subscribers and the watchers out there. Rob D is asking me to give you a bit of reprieve, man. Did you go through it on the last stream? What's going on, big dog?
Yo, I mean, yeah, I went through it, man. It was crazy. It was just crazy. It was crazy. I had to stream twice because YouTube, whatever, decided that it wanted to black out. Like, we literally had a Ravens 49ers Super Bowl moment. And then when it came back on, I sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and it wouldn't fix. So I had to start all over, and we were going into the fourth quarter, and we were winning.
Oh, no. I'm not going to ask about the results. If y'all want to know the results, y'all got to head on over there to the Wayne Breezy channel, man, and make sure y'all go and watch it. It was the sim of the 49ers versus the Chiefs, this upcoming matchup for Sunday. So that was pretty cool, man. But you got through it the second time around, right?
Got through it the second time around. Took a little longer than what I expected, but
did you put any safeguards in place in case of errors again?
Safeguard? I mean, there was nothing to safeguard. I didn't do anything the first time. It just the internet and whatever wanted to do what it wanted to do. There's nothing you can safeguard when there's technical difficulties not on your end.
Right. So was that shame on you or shame on YouTube?
It was whatever you want to call it, shame on. I said that. It wasn't
your fault, so that was shame on YouTube, right?
Yes,
oh, you said it?
Yeah, I said it, but of course I probably said it wrong. If I said, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. That's what I said, but I felt like that was backwards.
That's funny, man. I love it. A little callback action for y'all there, man. But yeah, so with Jennings, I mean, he's a tough SOB, man. So I'm not overly concerned with him. I don't want the Niners because of his physicality. Like, does Jennings play more physical than Debo?
No. Well, they're both physical. They're just physical in different ways. So like Jennings is physical in man coverage. Debo isn't. Debo's physical when he gets the ball in his hand in space and he's looking to truck use. Two different types of physicalities.
Right. So Debo wins that because Debo's initiating and looking for contact while Jennings is making contact through the catch.
Correct. Which you need both.
Right.
Like, you know, that's why like you're worried about Debo's injury and I'm worried about Jennings' injury. Oh, because of the man coverage from this team. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it wasn't my intent was not to diminish the injury at all. It was just that I wasn't surprised to hear him on there, and I miss Kyle saying Debo with the wrist. It was.
But he did get injured in the game, and I thought when he got injured in the game, like his arm was dead. Remember, he was just hanging. Like, he was like, oh, like remember. But I don't know if that's the same play you're talking about. Like I remember him getting.
He was on the sideline, right, and he grabbed his arm like it was like
right. It was dead for a second.
Yeah. I thought it was just a stinger, but
he came back and played.
Something. And the weird thing about that is, when Debo's carrying the ball, he runs into people with his wrist first. Like he runs into them like this. Like he'll do that. Sometimes he'll lower that shoulder, but there's other times where he just like straight up. If they not low on him, he won't get low. He'll just like chest to chest them type of thing with the ball in his hand. So that wrist is going to get some contact. So it's very interesting. Was there any other news that you came across today that might be interesting pertaining to this team in the upcoming game?
I ain't come across anything today. Today was
yeah.
Madden.
Quiet as kept. Oh, Madden. So you got the Madden sim going, man. You're going to have to teach me how to do my broadcast. I just bought this boxing game called Undisputed. If y'all know anything about me, I am big into boxing. And I've been looking for a boxing game since something called Fight Night.
Yeah.
And they're saying that
I heard that they were making a new Fight Night.
Well, so this is it. Oh. This is what it was. What Fight Night was supposed to be.
I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna get it then. That game was. I mean, the last Fight Night I had, I can't remember if it was Xbox, the newer Xbox. I can't remember, but I remember like that game was so official, bro.
Yeah,
like
man.
There's nothing like boxing, yo. And it's not like Mike Tyson Punch Out boxing. That was little animated stuff. The new boxing is like real boxing.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I went and picked it up today. Here's what's dope, right? Sometimes one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? And we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. I went to the first GameStop and they didn't open until 12. So I was like, all right, I'm on a conference call till 12:30. I'm just sitting in the car listening anyway, no big deal. I get inside and he's like, oh, we only have one copy. It's on reserve. Is your name whatever, whatever? And I hesitated, but I'm not that guy, so I said no. I said, you don't have any more in the back? He said, we only got 2 when the game shipped out. Long story short, I went down the street to another one, and the lady said, we have 2 in stock. She was like, this one was a pre-order, and the guy canceled his pre-order, so it comes with extra bonuses if you want it, and it'll be regular price. Look at that. Dope. See there? So I got the extra bonuses and all that stuff. It came with like gold cufflink key rings or something like that, and it came with like a download code or something, but I think you had to like get it by a certain time, so I might have missed the download code thing. I'll find out later on, but like you can get extra fighters and extra apparel, like ring walkware or something like that. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. They got some kinks to work out from all the reviews I read, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Back to one man's trash being another man's treasure. Carlson, the kicker, may not be playing on Sunday because Wright hasn't officially been ruled out. You don't think that's weird?
No, I think they brought in him. They signed him to the practice squad, for one. When they signed Wright, he was signed to the active roster. Big total difference, right? Now, they want Wright to play. They're just precautionary. We'll move a space on the practice squad just in case Matthew Wright come game time isn't right. And so I'm not mad, but they're prepared. This is what we know. We need the Niners. The Niners are prepared to have somebody in place just in case Matthew Wright isn't good to go.
And true or false, Jake Moody is not on the IR.
No, none of the players are. Moody or Hufanga.
So the Niners have 2.5 players that are kickers on the active roster. Well,
no, they only have
active roster and practice squad.
Correct.
That's wild. That is, I don't think I've ever seen that this late in the season before.
I mean, you haven't seen it because you haven't had kickers aren't injured.
Yeah.
Right. So you're gonna waste. You got to remember the IR thing is totally different. Was Huff placed on the IR? I missed that. If he was, my bad. I'm
pretty sure he was. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Hufanga was put on IR.
And if he was, that's why they went and signed Adrian Amos. Right. So now they got another safety, but he's on the practice squad. So who's getting Huff's spot? That's going to be a good question. But anyway, like
could be the kicker for a week.
Could be, and this is what I'm saying. So like, it's not like we had an injured kicker or whatnot. So I mean, it's not like we had. You know what I'm saying? Like most teams don't have an injured kicker where they're gonna, they're expecting your kicker to be back. It's a high ankle sprain. They're gonna go week to week, and they're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
And now, if Matthew Wright continues to kick well, this could be the end of Jake Moody for a while, and they'll shut him down and put him on IR.
Yeah. And I still don't think Niner fans should panic either way because Moody was, again, a draft pick. He's got the higher salary. I think Moody's going to be the guy that they keep around.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as the injury and allowing it to really fully heal, if Matthew Wright is kicking well, then they'll probably give him more time, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, those stupid IR rules are crazy. You know what I mean?
It is. And this year, they tweaked them again this year. So I don't even remember exactly what they are. Like, it used to be like you can only bring 2 guys back all year long. And I think they upped it to like 4. And then I think they came up with like different designations, like a 4-week designation or a postseason designation or 8-week designation. Like, they shifted it around so much. I don't even know what the new IR rules anymore. I'm not 100% clear on all of them. Like, I think it's like 4 or 5 people can come back or something crazy now. Like, who knows what the actual rules are?
Yeah. It's different, and it's going to take some time adjusting, and that's why Kyle has been very, careful on who he's putting on the IR and when he's allowing them to return. Because remember, they can only come back a certain amount of times.
Right. Correct. That is correct. So, okay. Listen, man, so I think, how do you think a team's identity is formed? It was an interesting question that was going around through the by the way, have you listened to the pressers lately? I want to ask you this real quick before we get into this. I
listened to some of what Kyle Shanahan talked about, but no, I don't even pay attention to them shits no more.
There's a new voice in the press room.
Who, the black girl?
Is she black? It's got a southern.
Yeah.
I hear South in it. I hear a little bit of black in it. Do we know who that is? Who is it?
I follow her on Instagram, but I don't know her name off the top of my head. But she's doing a good job.
Well, can you send me that, please? Because I would like to know who it is I'm critiquing and criticizing and all that stuff. But I recognize a different voice, and you got to be careful. The first time I noticed it was either after Arizona, or maybe I noticed it again after the Seahawks game, and I thought maybe it was like someone following the team, like a visitor. You know how sometimes one of the opposing teams, people will go into the.
She's been there since the beginning, since the season, though. She's been around.
Why haven't I heard her voice before?
You ain't paying
maybe it just
attention,
started.
Nah, it's been there.
The pressers is my. Well, all right, I got to step it up. Then I've been slack. It's all good. So all right, so there is somebody different. Wayne will send me the name on IG or something like that. I just got to figure out.
I think it's Aaron Wilson. Aaron Wilson is the name.
Okay. All right, so cool. So then I have to Google who Aaron Wilson is. But yeah, so there's a question going around about, are you guys getting back to your true identity? Was that a get right game? And the question is being kind of like,
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I heard
worked together. Yeah, it's kind of being worked together. The 49ers identity, Wayne, I don't know if you remember, we were 3-4 weeks ahead of it. We were talking about we don't recognize this team anymore. How does
it's a good month to not recognize your team, though, right? Like it's the month of October, still a bunch of ghosts going around, and then in November they hit you with the boom. You know,
it's
what I
like
mean?
we here. This
I'm
is
hoping
who we are.
I'm hoping that's what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, how many games in October? 1,
2.
So we're 1-1 in October.
Mm-hmm.
What's normally our record in October? Where did we go last year?
Last year we were 2-3.
Yeah. So if we win 3 games, that's a win.
Yeah.
For this month.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we're still finding ourselves. We're still searching for the identity. If that's where you're going with this. Like that
yes.
It's a search, man. And it's gonna be a search because you're missing parts of your identity. Like you're missing part of your makeup. Like the identity with Jordan Mason
McCaffrey.
and Christian McCaffrey is 2 different identities. We might feel like the identity is to run the ball, but the way we run the ball is going to look different. You got 2 different styles of running backs. So the identity is still going to be different. So we got to define, like, what do the 49ers want to be? Maybe they want to be unknown to keep defenses guessing. Maybe Kyle is setting them up saying that, oh yeah, we can pass, we could do this. Brock Purdy air yards, Brock Purdy this, Brock Purdy that, and then come the second half of the season, they start gashing motherfuckers on the ground because the teams are gonna start looking for the pass. Like, what if it's that? You know what I mean? So I don't know. In fact, if I could pick an identity for the 49ers, it would be a balanced attack. And I think the Niners need to figure out how to run the ball 30 plus times, throw the ball, less than 40 times. I would say 25 to 40 would be good attempts. 25, 35 is where I really want the pass attempts. They got to run the ball 30 plus though, every single game. And that's a balanced attack. 30 runs, 30 pass attempts, 60 plays, around that. That would be a good look for the Niners. Now, I don't know. So I don't know what we're looking for as far as the identity. That's just from the offensive side. There's a whole new identity on the defensive side because we got a new defensive coordinator. So it's not like the defensive coordinators, I always feel like they're gonna be like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna come in and just let the players do what they do, and kind of like, nah, that ain't what that's not what they be doing. Steve Wilkes didn't do that, and Nick Sorensen ain't doing that neither. They are trying to implement their stamp on what they want this 49ers defense to be. We're going from a zone coverage team to a lot of man coverage, and we're getting burnt on a lot of these man coverage defenses. So I don't know. But I'm just saying, I don't know what the identity. I think it's still going to be a search until you get some key pieces back, because the identity is different on defense without Greenlaw, and the offense is different without Christian McCaffrey. So who are we?
Exactly. So let me read to you guys what I wrote. So I believe that the skill positions dictate the identity of a team, and it starts with wide receivers. Think back to those 2001 Steelers. You got Hines Ward.
You just got staticky to me. Now that could be to me. Could be my system.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. You still hear me?
I hear you, but it's staticky.
Is it still staticky?
Yeah. I just want people to hear you. They're not saying
am I staticky out there, guys?
You must be good. Nope, they said static. Okay.
What the hell? I'm just sitting here. I haven't touched shit.
I'm trying to tell you, man, there's something wrong with the internet, bro. No, now you're good. So just go.
All right, so it's clear now. Okay, I you know what? I think I know what happened. That shouldn't have happened, but it's cool. So I said, I believe that skill positions dictate the identity of teams, and it starts with the wide receivers. Think back to those 2001 Steelers, right? You got Hines Ward, 6-foot guy, physical, loved the block, right? You got wide receiver Plexico Burress, 6'5", fast, also physical. Then you have their running back, Jerome Bettis, physical as hell, right? And because that offense was so dominant, it allowed that defense to play fast. And we remember that Steelers defense back then, right? The defense is always going to be aggressive if you got a good physical offense. That's what their job is to do. Think about those 49er teams where we had Colin Kaepernick here, hell, even Alex Smith, right? We had Michael Crabtree, wasn't necessarily a burner, right? We had Mario Manningham. We had Anquan Bolden, right? Stevie Johnson. Like, none of these guys were necessarily like finesse guys. These were all physical guys, and you got the ground and pound game with Frank Gore. And then you think back, again, when you have that kind of offense, the defense picks up that tough physical mentality, right? The Niners this year, starting with the wide receivers, are in a bit of an identity crisis, if you ask me. I'm looking at it as in, where is the Ayuk that we've known? Jawan Jennings is hurt. We can see the difference. He can't quite block and get nasty and physical the way that he wants to. Debo is coming into shape. He's kind of turned the corner, getting back to that old Debo, but it's not quite the same Debo that we're used to seeing, right? And then we actually lose Christian McCaffrey. And while some people may look at him as a finesse guy, Christian McCaffrey didn't shy away from contact. He wasn't that guy either, right? So this physical identity that the Niners once had, and then there's George Kittle. Again, guys, the skill positions. George Kittle, Mr. I love the block. I was watching last game and somebody said, where's the Kittle that smiles when he was driving guys into the ground? Where is that George Kittle? And here he is going on 7-8 years in the NFL. Maybe some time is starting to catch up to him. And then the defense has to answer to it all. The defense has to mirror the energy that the offense is given. Well, if the offense is a big question, Wayne just sat here and told y'all a whole long list of reasons as to why the defense don't look quite the same. Zone, man, getting burnt. The physicality is missing. Dre Greenlaw, that heartbeat, that physical guy is not quite there. I think that we are in the middle of a real identity crisis, Wayne. What say you?
Nah, it's not an identity crisis. I feel like we gotta stop overreacting and trying to, like, does it look different? Yes, but I don't think it's an identity crisis. You know what I'm saying? You just said injuries, a bunch of little tidbits, man. Like, you know, when I think about Kyle Shanahan and why we call this dude like a genius or whatever, it's because we knew how intricate his play calling was, like, right? How creative they were, and so how innovative they were. But nobody's factoring that the rest of the league can just be catching up. The rest of the league can be different. Players are coming out of college more ready. They're faster. They're different. It's different. And so, like, it's all about being able to adapt. And I don't know if the Niners are an adaptable team. That, to me, is what my concern is. They don't seem like they can adapt quickly. That's why we got a surge when we watched those rookies play, because the rookies were kind of a little more prepared for what today's football is like. And George Kittle's an older guy. Right, Fred Warner's an older guy, and I'm not saying that their play is declining, and I get where you're coming from, but we just it's the NFL, the Super Bowl is not won in the month of October, and so we got to get to the month of December, and then that's when it matters. Because that's when you start setting your tone and saying that, hey, we about to be in these playoffs, we about to make a run, we about to do this in January, stuff like that. So it's a long way from now. You dealing with all these injuries to a lot of those positions that you just mentioned, your skilled positions. Like, you got to figure out a way how to sustain good football. We talk all this trash, but the Niners offensively, all the stuff you just mentioned, yep, don't look the same. Niners are number 2 in offense. They're number 2 in passing. They're number 7 in running. They're number 9 and tied for 8th, in scoring. Don't look that different to me as far as what statistics are saying, but we do know there's a little shift in what's going on. But the shift is coming from the type of players that we got to rock with right now. So we got to just give it some time. And I think time is on our side. I think we get Christian McCaffrey back. I think those guys heal, the ones you mentioned. Brandon Ayuk still got to get whipped into shape. And nobody's talking about how the defense is playing is different. Are we watching football? Are we watching that every time we throw the ball in the middle of the field, the yak is being taken away because they got a bunch of convoy guys ready to just make the tackle? It wasn't like that before, right? So we can't blame that on the receiver. The defenses are playing different because the defense are knowing what the 49ers like to do, get the ball in the middle of the field. Why do you think Brock is trying to take the ball down the field more this year, opposed to the underneath the dink and dunk throws? Defenses are playing us different. So Brock, Kyle, offense, they're trying to adjust to what the defenses are giving them. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we get explosive plays. Sometimes we get the yak. And so it's all part of the growing pains. Defensively, though. Go ahead.
Do the defenses play is different if Ayuk is running Ayuk routes and getting targeted the way he was?
Ayuk is still running Ayuk routes. What are we talking about?
That's not what I said. I said if Ayuk was running Ayuk type routes and getting targeted the way that he was, and McCaffrey was still here.
He's still getting targeted, but the key piece is McCaffrey not being here because the defense automatically is going to play different when you don't have a McCaffrey. Just like the defenses played us different when we didn't have McCaffrey. Like, we should know that, yeah, Ayuk was targeted differently when we didn't have McCaffrey in the first place. It's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of context and stuff to the story, man. I'm not giving us no excuses because my thing is we need to go out there and execute. I don't give a fuck who's out there on football field. You got to execute. I don't care if you got the best players or the worst players. You get paid. You go out there. You find a way to execute. And that's the issue. But at the end of the day, like, offense is still doing what the offense has been doing. They got better statistics. The only issue is we 3-3. Like, you know what I mean? If we were, let me just ask you this question hypothetically, right? Let's say we were 6-0. Would you, and we still did the same stuff, but we were 6-0. Would you still feel the same way about the identity on the offense?
Hell yeah. Oh, I'm the last person that sits here and says, "Oh, it's results based. We're winning. So what?"
So we're 6-0. We're still number 2 in offense, total offense. Number 2 in passing. Number 7th in rushing, and 8th in scoring. And you would still have, you would still be saying that.
I would happily say that we still don't look like the old 49ers. Just like we talked about yesterday.
But maybe we're just not that 49ers no more. Maybe we're a new 49ers.
Maybe, and that doesn't mean that it's not an identity crisis. That means that the identity is one that we don't recognize.
But I don't think it's a crisis if they're switching up the identity, right? We just got to get used to the new identity. We're complaining about an identity crisis. We're trying to call it a crisis, but maybe it's not a crisis. Maybe this is what they're trying to shapeshift into. Like Hove says, I just make another Hove. Maybe we making another 49ers offense, something that no one has ever seen before. And it's taking a minute to go through the machine to become refined.
We spent 15 minutes yesterday talking about how the Chiefs are vulnerable. Meanwhile, they're 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
What if that's just the way the Chiefs play ball now? We spent the whole time saying they look different. It's not the same Chiefs.
But I never said that they were going through an identity crisis, Mike. I didn't mention that term. Neither did you, motherfucker. You didn't mention that term neither. We just said they look different. Do the 49ers look different? Yes. Ain't that what I just said? Yes. Crisis?
So
I don't think so.
I like that.
I don't believe so. My bad. Because I really don't. I'm trying to get used. You know when something's different, it takes a minute to adjust to it, and you be like, I ain't used to doing this. I ain't comfortable with this. But over time, you start to get used to it. I'm thinking that's what we're starting to get. I'm not used to Brock leading the league in air yards. None of us should be. We used to Brock dinking and dunking. It looked different. We used to Christian McCaffrey running the ball. He ain't here. Crisis, I don't know. Different, 100%. I agree with that 100%.
Okay. All right. So no
updates?
To the identity crisis. Oh, not yet. I'm going to get to the super chat and then we'll do that and then we'll get out of here. So identity crisis, no. But do we look different? Yes.
Yes.
I like that. Ravi, thank you for the super chat, man. We really appreciate it. Where my horns at for my man at? Let me play some, oh, there we go. Drop a bomb on him. There we go. He says, I'm sadly preparing myself for a close game where we hit the field goals when we should get touchdowns and a few key plays where we'll be back to where we could have capitalized. Sounds like he's preparing for disappointment.
I mean, you can't be mad at, there's nothing wrong with not believing we're going to win. We ain't beat this team ever. So, thank you for the super chat, but Mike, this is the same reason why we predicted that we were going to lose this game. But I think the reason why I got a different feeling about it is because I'm starting to believe that this new Niners is what I'm starting to get used to. I'm starting to get accustomed to the new line, to what we're seeing. I'm starting to get accustomed to these explosive plays down the field. Now, I don't know I just want the team to play smart football in all three phases. And every week is something different. So what's going to be the catch this week? And against a team that we can't finish against. And I believe we play them way better in the Super Bowl than we do in the regular season. This is a regular season game. Are we going to get the regular season Niners? So I don't think so. I think we're going to get a Niners team that we do know what they do. We do know we run the ball. I think what's different. We don't play. It feels like, I don't want to say we don't. What's the percentage of our play action pass this year? I feel like that's down.
I feel like that's got to be like 12%. Like it's next to nothing.
But it needs to be more of the percent, is what I'm saying.
If you want us to get back to that old style and identity.
It's just tricking the defense. It's better setting you up across the middle. But I think the play action pass comes into what type of safeties they playing high. They playing 2 high safeties. They playing 1 high safety. You play the 1 high safety, you play action pass all day. You play the 2 high safeties, and you got to make 2 decisions in your head. Which side of this ball I'm throwing it to? Because there's 2 safeties back there. If they don't bite,
right.
But you playing cover 1, man. You know play action gonna work every single time because the 1 safety gonna be in the box, and then the other safety got to make the decision. It's easier to fool 1 guy than it is 2. 1 guy could correct the other guy's mistakes if he's back there. It's gonna be an interesting game. I understand where the faithful comes from, and I gotta stop telling everybody that they're wrong. Nobody is wrong. Everybody's right. It's just we
Who
don't
you tell
know.
they wrong?
Just my demeanor. My thing is this. I just don't know how this game is going to go. I know if the Niners come out together and they're efficient and the defense can sustain their energy. Don't play overzealous. Don't do this. There's a lot of things they can't do. Gotta tackle. Gotta sustain the energy. That right there, bro, it's a wrap, man. Come on, man. I don't care how different the identity looks for the 49ers. I don't care. Mike, I'm not trying to be a homer here, bro, but all 3 of them losses is because the Niners beat themselves. Miss me with that. Because the Vikings ain't do nothing special. They do the ball to the best damn wide receiver in the NFL who happened to be wide open because 2 safeties didn't know what to do. That's on Nick Sorensen. Because why is the safety covering that guy? I always want to call Justin Jefferson Randy Moss. I don't know why. It's because Moss was a Viking. That's where it started. We didn't have any issues with Nick Sorensen week 1 when we played the Jets. You know why? They ain't have a number 1 wideout. The moment we had to face a wideout 1, wide receiver 1, we got burnt. And then we face a wide receiver 17 and we still get burnt. And Tutu Atwell in week 2. It be little things like that, bro, that the Niners got to adjust. Beat themselves, man. That's it.
I hear you, man. And I agree. I think that our team's talent is not a reflection of what we can do. I absolutely don't.
And that's why
I don't think that at all.
The next show we do, we got to really start talking about the pressure. Because the pressure is on the Niners, yo. They have to win the Super Bowl this year.
Tall task, tall ask. We'll see.
That's dope. Never heard that before. But that is right. I heard tall task, but not the tall ask.
Okay, I'm about to say you heard the K at the end, right? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
You said you had you said you got the injury report also?
I do. I forgot I got to go to work tonight. I totally forget. When football's on, I could care less about anything else. So Deebo Samuel, wrist injury, and Jordan Mason, shoulder injury are in blue no contact jerseys today. Juwan Jennings is not practicing for the 2nd straight day. Malik Collins is back in uniform after not being there with the knee issues. I think we're going to be missing Juwan Jennings in this game, bro. It doesn't sound good.
They haven't. Pearsall's still on IR, right? Like, let's be clear.
No. So yes. I'm sorry. Practice window has been open. He's on the IR. Sorry.
I'm mad at one of these apps made me activate him because he's projected for 3 points. And they were like, you got to activate him on fantasy.
Oh,
he's not even on the active roster.
No, I get what you're saying. No.
That's some bullski. Because that means I had to cut somebody in order to bump him up. All right, it's cool. But, so without Jennings, we'll see what happens. I don't know when they have to officially activate him in order for him to play.
You talk about Pearsall?
Yeah. Like, can they say Sunday, no, we're elevating?
No. He has to be activated by Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So they're gonna use that day.
We got football tonight, Wayne. We got football tonight, bro.
Nope, nobody's watching this game.
Why?
Because ain't nobody playing.
That's all right. I ain't even. You know what? We got another super chat.
Keep it a buck with me, bro. It's the Denver Broncos with a rookie quarterback going against the New Orleans Saints with a rookie quarterback. Nobody's gonna watch this game. I can tell you that right now. And especially since the Saints don't have a wide receiver. Like their number one wideout is Bub Means from Pittsburgh. Yes, I do know these colleges that they go to because I cover them in the offseason when I do the
I'm watching the game tonight. I don't give a damn what Wayne is saying. Now, I might not be glued to the TV. I might be willing to walk away.
If you ain't glued to the TV, you ain't watching the game, bro. That's my point. That I've watched every game on Thursday night. This is the first one. I'm happy I got a game. You get what I'm saying?
All right, man. We're going to let Wayne get out of here, y'all. He's got work to do. He did a back-to-back show. I got a back-to-back show. Patreonians, make sure y'all there. We're going live right after this party in the kicking the Kia style. Slick says here, hope 49ers do the Chiefs what they did to Philly last year. Hashtag dressed in black. Are we wearing black this game? We're not wearing black this game, are we?
Nah, we're not wearing black ever. But he's just saying that they showed up to the game dressed in black.
Bury him.
They was about their
ready
business.
for the funeral.
You know what? Slick, though. Slick. Thank you for the super chat.
They don't do that at home, though.
They don't do that. Nope. And Chiefs players ain't talking trash. You got to remember why they beat us in the Super Bowl. They wanted to talk trash. They wanted to. Go back and watch the interviews.
They were the nicest people.
They were but Steve Spagnuolo said, don't say anything. That's Chris Jones. Chris Jones wanted to chomp. They just showed up and played. And I'm not saying that we talk trash in that Eagles game, but the Philly guys did. And so that's why they came dressed to business. So I don't think that there's a, what's the word, Mike?
Motivation.
Yeah. That's the best word for it. There's nobody antagonizing them to do that. And so the San Francisco 49ers is going to show up and play football. But I wish that they would, because
maybe we should make something up tomorrow.
You can't. It ain't going. It ain't the same. It don't.
We could fake a tweet. Like we could fake a tweet. We can crop it and edit it and make it look like somebody said.
You trying to get me kicked off Twitter? I'm already banned. I'm gonna get kicked off after being banned. That's crazy.
Oh man, I'm kicked off too. I can't even go live on my own verified Twitter account, so I don't even know what's going on, man.
I don't get it, man. No harm, no foul. Yeah.
Listen, we getting out of here, man. Thank you all for the super chats and contributions, man. I do owe you a bomb. Let me go ahead and do that. Oh, there you go. We'll do the horn instead. I thought that was a bomb, but I can't read from back here. Guys, we're going to get up out of here. We appreciate you all. Thank you all for rocking with us, man. And we will see you guys soon. Head on over to the Patreon if you guys want this bonus content. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. We're going to be live for the $5 tier and higher, and then it's going to go straight to the top after that. All right. Wayne, you ready to go?
Yes, sir. Live all the time.
Nope.
Kicking it with.
Nope. No team is safe.
No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. Live all the time, kicking it with the fam, though. Bro.
Peace out, y'all.